The world outside was a blur of neon and noise, but inside the towering glass building of Zenith Entertainment, my world was small. It was a practice room with mirrors that showed every flaw. My name is Ji-Yun. I came to Seoul with a guitar and a dream that felt too big for my small town. Every day was the same. Wake up before the sun, practice dancing until my legs ached, sing until my throat was raw. It was a life lived in fluorescent light, fueled by instant coffee and the desperate hope of debuting. We were all just kids, chasing a future that felt both impossibly close and a million miles away. We shared everything, from late-night snacks to our deepest fears of being sent home. Our instructors were like gods and executioners. They could build you up with a single nod or break you with a sharp critique. The air in the evaluation room was always thick with tension. You could feel the unspoken competition. Every note, every move was measured and judged. We were supposed to be a team, but we were also rivals. I tried to focus only on my own progress. I poured my heart into the lyrics I wrote in a small, worn-out notebook. I found my escape in the melodies, the only place where I felt truly free. It was there, in the quiet moments between exhausting routines, that I felt my own voice getting stronger. They said I had something special, a presence. When I sang, the room would go quiet. My voice wasn't the loudest, but it carried a story. That's what one of the producers told me. He said it was a rare gift. I didn't see it myself. I just saw the girl in the mirror, tired and a little scared. But I started to notice how others saw me. Some trainees would watch me from the corner of the room, their eyes filled with a mix of admiration and something else, something colder. Others would offer a quiet smile, a small gesture of support that meant the world. The building was a universe of its own, with its own suns and black holes. In this world of constant observation, I learned to be careful. I kept my head down and worked harder than anyone else. I knew that talent was not enough. You needed grit, resilience, and a little bit of luck. The dream was simple: to stand on a stage and sing my songs, to connect with people I had never met. I didn't want fame for its own sake. I wanted to share the music that lived inside me, but I was naive. I didn't understand yet that in this industry, a bright light always casts a long, dark shadow. Someone was already watching, not just my talent, but every little piece of my life. The whispers started subtly. My name was mentioned more often in meetings. Producers would pull me aside for one-on-one sessions. The change was gradual, but everyone felt it. The space around me in the cafeteria grew wider. Girls who once shared their lunch with me now ate in tight, quiet groups, their laughter stopping whenever I walked by. The shared dreams that once bonded us were now turning into walls of jealousy. I tried to bridge the gap. I would ask about their day or compliment their dancing, but my words felt hollow in the strained silence. Their smiles didn't reach their eyes anymore. I found solace in my friendship with Min Jun, a trainee from the boys' group. He was kind and understood the pressure. We would sneak up to the rooftop sometimes, sharing cheap convenience store coffee and talking about our families. He was the only one who didn't look at me like I was a threat. "They're just scared, Ji-Yun," he would say, his voice gentle. "You shine so brightly it makes them feel like they're in the shadows." But even with his support, the loneliness was a heavy coat I couldn't take off. The path to stardom felt like a solitary climb up a very steep mountain. Meanwhile, someone I didn't know was watching. This person wasn't a producer or a fellow trainee. They were a phantom, an unseen presence. They knew my schedule better than I did. They knew my favorite coffee order, the song I hummed when I was nervous, and the worn-out sneakers I always wore. They collected these details like precious jewels. Every photo I posted online was saved. Every casual interview was transcribed. This observation was not simple admiration. It was a meticulous, chilling study of my life, a file growing thicker with each passing day. The interest was quiet, but it was deep and unsettling. My world was shrinking and expanding at the same time. My skills were praised, my potential celebrated by the company, but my personal life was becoming an island. I missed the easy camaraderie we used to have. I missed being just Ji-Yun, the girl with the guitar. Now, I was Ji-Yun, the probable debut. The title was a crown and a cage. I felt the weight of expectations pressing down on me, from the company, from the other trainees, and from myself. I just wanted to sing, but it seemed like my voice was becoming something more. A prize to be won, a target to be marked. The day they gave me my stage name was the day everything changed forever. I was called into the CEO's office, a place I had only seen in pictures. The air was thick with the smell of expensive leather and ambition. "Ji-Yun," he said, his voice calm and final. "From now on, you will be known as Cherry Blossom. You bloom in the spring, a symbol of new beginnings." beautiful but fleeting. It will make people want to hold on to you. The name felt strange on my tongue. It was pretty, but it didn't feel like me. It felt like a character I was about to play, a fragile, perfect idol. My debut was a whirlwind. My song, First Bloom, climbed the charts overnight. Suddenly, my face was everywhere. On TV screens in subway stations, on billboards overlooking the Han River, on the cover of magazines. People on the street would whisper my new name as I passed. "It's Cherry Blossom." The adoration was overwhelming. It was everything I had worked for, but it was also terrifying. The girl who used to sing alone in a practice room was now singing for millions. I smiled for the cameras, bowed to the fans, and gave the perfect answers in interviews. I was playing the part well. The distance between me and the other trainees became an ocean. Some of them debuted in other groups, and we would bow formally to each other backstage at music shows. We were colleagues now, not friends. The easy warmth was gone, replaced by professional courtesy. Minjun was still there, sending a supportive text after every performance, a small anchor in the storm of my new life. But I could see the strain even on him. My success highlighted the uncertainty of his own future. The world of K-pop was a pyramid, and I was standing near the top, where the air was thin and very cold. Behind the flood of fan letters and official merchandise, the secret file grew. The obsession was no longer passive. The watchers' focus intensified, fueled by my rising fame. They didn't just collect information, they started to see me as something that belonged to them. They believed they understood the real Ji-yoon, not the polished cherry blossom on the screen. They thought they were my most dedicated fan, my silent protector. But their protection was a form of possession. They hated seeing me share my light with the world. In their mind, that light was meant only for them. The city looked different from the rooftop now. It wasn't just a dreamscape of lights anymore. It was my stage. Seoul was the city that had taken my anonymity but given me a voice. Tonight, after a long day of schedules, I came up here for a moment of peace. The wind was cool against my face, a welcome relief from the heat of the stage lights. I looked down at the endless river of headlights and felt a surge of determination. This was my life now. The loneliness, the pressure, the sacrifices, they were all part of the price. I would not let them break me. I would prove that I was more than a fragile blossom, but as I stood there, feeling strong and resolute, I couldn't shake a strange, lingering feeling. The feeling of being watched. It was more than just the general awareness of being a public figure. This was different. It was a specific, focused energy, like a pinpoint of ice on my skin. I scanned the rooftops of the nearby buildings, but saw nothing but dark silhouettes against the night sky. I told myself it was just paranoia, a side effect of fame. How could anyone see me up here? It was impossible. I was safe. I was wrong. Across the street, in a dark apartment, a figure stood by the window, a pair of high-powered binoculars in their hands. They had been watching me for months. They saw the tired slump of my shoulders when I thought no one was looking. They saw the relief wash over my face as I breathed in the night air. They had followed my journey from the very beginning, from the nervous girl in the practice room to the star on the rooftop. They felt a twisted sense of pride, as if they had created me. My success was their success. My life was their story. The watcher lowered the binoculars, a faint smile playing on their lips. Ji-yoon, my cherry blossom, they thought. You think you are on top of the world, but you don't see the strings. You don't see the hand that guides you, that protects you, that owns you. The world can have your music, but your life, your fears, your every breath, those belong to me. The obsession had taken root, and it was growing into something dangerous. My journey had just begun, but my shadow was already planning to follow me every step of the way, waiting for the perfect moment to step into the light.